Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting West Burlington City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Here.
Molly.
Here.
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 West.
Here.
Before we get into the agenda, I do want to make a few comments. Bob Summers, who was our mayor from 1986 through 1989, and also a city council member from 1982 through 1985, passed away this last Sunday in Tucson, Arizona at hospice. Him and his wife Pat usually wintered in Arizona, and they had just gotten down there. They hadn't been down there very long. Bob was also a good friend of mine. He was kind of a mentor over the years. We worked together at Case, and he was the mayor when I first got on council in 1985. Bob was a very outspoken person. He would kind of tell you how it is and where it's at, and never pull punches. Some of the accomplishments during Bob's years, the city started doing a lot of water main replacement in town. We went from the old cast iron mains to plastic, and improved a lot of the quality of the water during that period of time. Upgrades to the wastewater plant were made when Bob was mayor, and the main extension on Mount Pleasant Street to the Beaverdale area was also done at that time. What is today the present-day dairy dealership was Arledge. They came into town when Bob was mayor, and also Farm King came around about that time. Talks also started, and I can remember this real clearly one day. Talk started with GRMC, what is now GRMC, it was BMC at the time, about relocating out here. Mr. Hagel was the CEO out there at the time when he came in one day and showed us plans that for the cancer treatment center and for the family practice center. And on those plans, it showed about 500 parking lots. Now, Bob and I kind of just chuckled and said, you know, hopefully we don't have that many cancer patients all at once, because parking for 500 cars means you're going to be building a hospital out here. And they wouldn't confirm it at the time, but 10 years later they did. So, and Bob got to see all that. So my condolences go out to the family, and I know Pat's probably having a very tough time with it. So anyway, that's kind of just want to make a statement before we get into our meeting. So we need to perfect and approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Molly.
Aye.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. The consent agenda, there is a correction under number 1. Therese pointed out that under the consent agenda, we needed to make a correction, so need a motion to approve the consent agenda with that correction.
So moved. Support.
So motion with support to approve consent agenda items 1 through 12, which is the minutes of the regular city council meeting on December 5th. Approve hiring Skelly and DeJanes to remove a tree from Wheeler Street. Approve determination of firefighter Mike Trickler from the fire department. Approve Fire Chief Himes' attendance at the International Code Council's annual training conference. Approve media relations training for Police Chief Newberry. Approve payment to Burlington Municipal Water Works. Approve payment to City of Burlington for countywide communication. Approve payment to Electrical Engineering Equipment Company. Approve a payment to Greater Burlington Partnership for the annual Chamber Dinner sponsorship. Approve payment to Quad City Analytical Services. Approve payment to Des Moines County Regional Waste Commission. And approve claims as presented in the amount of $178,113.34. That breaks down to the general fund, $69,331.79. Road use tax, $4,456.78. Debt service, $48,427.50. Equipment replacement, water, $319.31. Equipment replacement administration, $319.31. And equipment replacement sewer, $319.31. Water, $31,303.69. Beaverdale escrow, $19.75. Westwood escrow, $19.75. Woodsman subdivision escrow, $19.75. Water revenue bond sinking, $4,680. Sewer, $16,204.89. Risk management, self-insurance, $1,573.34. Flex account, $353.20. 4th of July celebration, $21.29. And the Pink Heels Tour, $743.68. Any discussion on those?
Just for clarification, we removed a tree on Wheeler, and then I think we had Ramsey. Is that on the corner of Ramsey and Wheeler? I had one address as 122 Ramsey, the other one was 121 Ramsey, and now I'm on Wheeler Street. It must be on that corner.
Yes, it is 122, and then it's around the corner. It's a pretty good sized tree. I've got a white X painted on it if you
Okay.
want to take a look at it, but it's hollow all the way through.
Roll call.
Stewart.
Aye. Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Motion carried. Committee reports, finance. You got anything going on, Rod?
Nothing really new. I know Dan and Leslie's been working on the budget and all that kind of stuff, so I'm sure we're going to be having lots of financial discussions in the near future. I would quickly just echo your comments about Mr. Summers, a longtime good West Burlington citizen, very active in the community, and as you said, not afraid to give you his opinion on subjects, and I received those a few times. So, other than that, I have nothing.
I do, we are going to receive the union's proposal tomorrow, and we're going to have to give them a counter proposal within 14 days. Now, that 14 days would be 2 weeks from tomorrow, which would be like the 4th or 3rd of January, the day after we have a meeting. So does everybody have time during the day, like maybe next Wednesday, to come up and we could have a meeting to sit down about that proposal? It would be a closed session to work out a counter proposal.
I can come up.
You like around what time?
Well, like, instead of waiting until at night, I mean, next week, I know, I think Karen and Teresa are off on Wednesdays, and
Well,
the rest of us are retired, so.
Yeah, 1 o'clock or something. I was just basketball, anything in the afternoon I could
Well, how about early morning?
probably. Yeah, I just.
Early in the
gotta
morning on
remind-
Wednesday, the day after Christmas?
Not
Yeah.
early morning.
Not
like
early, I mean,
10-ish.
not early. But like,
I can try and make sure that funeral wise.
be done after 3, like 3 in the afternoon? That'd be good enough?
Anytime from noon on, but
Before 5.
Yeah, about like 3 in the afternoon.
I work Wednesdays. I work every Wednesday. Sorry, I'm still employed full-time.
Thought you had Wednesdays off,
Mondays,
Mondays. Well, then let's do it on Wednesday night then.
sorry.
Wednesday, the 26th,
Yeah,
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. Unless we wait till the council meeting, but we're gonna,
Wednesday, the 26th after Christmas?
yeah, it's
Nah.
it's the day after.
I don't care. Not me.
All right, then,
Let's put it back to today.
and hopefully you'll be ready for a very long meeting on the 2nd. It might be midnight. That's
Might
what
be.
I'm trying to avoid.
So I'm not sure, what did we,
We're just going to a regular meeting. because I want everybody here, because I don't want anybody to miss out on this and hear about it a month later.
Well, we can come at 5.
5 at what day? Well, there's some people that can't make it that time of day.
If you want to make it 5, I can cancel out.
I know you don't have a ball game on Wednesday.
No, I usually have practice, Dan.
Oh.
So, but I can cancel that out.
Well, we can start at 5,
Okay.
because there's some other stuff on the agenda for that night.
So start the next council meeting?
At 5. Anything else for finance?
We're looking to do the budget, start the budget process that night also.
Yeah,
correct?
so that's what I'm
That's the
saying.
5th.
Might be here for a long time.
The second, I mean,
Second.
5 o'clock. Okay.
You do your work
Well,
session.
I was gonna say, can we do another day next week in the evening?
Well, it's Christmas Monday and Tuesday.
Well, I know that, but like Thursday or?
There's probably a basketball game on
Well,
Thursday.
they don't play in between the
Not on-
holidays.
Yeah, not on, yeah, and not on a Thursday.
I'd be done at 7.
I just stick with the normal day. We will, we'll get those proposals out to you, and at least you'll have them, you can look at them and start thinking.
May not have to do much.
You don't have to do much.
Hey,
Look at
there's
the
a happy
positive
thought.
side.
Yeah.
But around here, looking at the bad side all the time. Streets,
The only thing is, I'm probably ready for tomorrow, but Randy can go with that.
Well, I'm thinking about it, Teresa, it is 121. You had me a little confused. It is 121 Ramsey is where that tree is.
Well, thank you for that clarification. I got confused.
got anything going on for streets, Randy?
Yeah, today they spent the full day getting ready for snow. Everything's ready to go, just a matter of whenever it changes over. Middle school, everything that was sold has been removed. We hauled 2 loads to the landfill of stuff that was left, and now it's sitting there ready for the asbestos abatement crew to come in. And this week I've already showed 2 demolition contractors the inside of the school, so we do have some people that are interested in taking the building down.
And that asbestos guy is gonna show up tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
At least
Okay.
drop some stuff off to get ready, so.
But everything for streets.
Since Randy mentioned the school, Mr. Gifford was at a meeting this morning and mentioned, I think, the school and the possible sale of lots and that kind of stuff at a chamber meeting, Tuesday morning, I guess I should say. That has already caused activity, just so that you know.
That's the idea.
I know. But I wanted you to know that you saying that in front of 50 or 60 chamber members has caused some phone calls about people, what lots and where they at and how big are they, and, you know.
Okay. Public safety. Trees?
I don't have anything.
Chiefs?
Well, I just kind of want some input from the council. I've been kicking around an idea. I have 2 officers, possibly 3, that have shown interest in joining the Des Moines County TAC team. It's made up of Burlington and the county. West Burlington never has participated into this. There is a cost to join the TAC team, and the cost is in equipment, extra equipment they have to have. It'd be approximately, it's pricey, it's $4,000 and at least 4 hours a month overtime for training. What that would include would be that officer would go and get specialized training and he'd be able to bring it back to us. The officers that are responding, say if you have a problem at the school that has an active shooter, a problem at the Great River Medical Center. We also have the college here. We have Walmart. There's new tactical ways to deal with that situation other than what law enforcement used to do, is surround and try to secure the scene. Now it's more proactive. And we've never have participated in that, and I would like to, I've been kicking around the idea of putting at least one officer in that for that specialized training and have them join Burlington and Des Moines County Sheriff's Department in that team. I just kind of wanted to see what council felt about that because it would be a cost. I have not talked to Leslie about the money portion of it in my budget and to look for that money. There's no point in me doing the homework if that's not something West Burlington or the council is interested in.
In lieu of the events of last Monday, I would strongly encourage you to
Yes,
get that
definitely.
in the budget.
We participate
Yes.
in the drug enforcement thing. I don't know why we wouldn't then participate in this.
Okay.
So will that person be able to come back and train others?
Yes, they'll be able to come in and to join the TAC team. They have to compete against each other in physical and MMPI, which is mental. There's several other tests that they have to pick, and they'll pick one. If we have 3 officers, they'll pick one out of the best 3, and they'll all compete with each other to see who's the best candidate for that. And they'll be able to come back and train us.
And you have more than one officer interested in.
Yes, we do. I know I have 2 for sure now that approached me and very positive, and the 3rd is thinking of it. And another one said he would definitely do it if he was as good in firearms as the rest of the department, if he was a little stronger in firearms. So there's a lot of officers that are willing to put in the time and the effort for that. And I'd like to try to come up with the money and participate. Plus, it will bring us closer to the other 2 departments.
There you go.
Will that put a strain on the department since we're one man short anyway?
Well, we're one person short. The way I look at it, we're one person short because of medical. When she comes back, I don't look at it as the department's one short. I'm kind of looking forward to that we're going to go with 9 instead of 10 now. I've kind of reached that decision. I have not had any problem covering it. Nobody has been complaining. We've made the calls in timely manner. The calls of service where people have to wait for an officer has not went up. To put it very bluntly, the only portion of it that has kind of slid is sometimes I can't make it to a meeting because I'm on a call. That probably has suffered, and that's what we're short of more than anything, and I find it more important to get to the call. So I like to think that I'm at 9 at the personnel that I should be at.
Good. Chief, did you have a chance to talk with school administration?
Yes, we did. Me and Hans went up, referenced Alice, and it's an active shooter response instructor course, and they showed interest. That's kind of a program that all the schools in Des Moines County are going to, that TAC team, and Chief Deputy White knows a lot more about it than me, and that's who I've talked to about this, and a lot of the schools are jumping forward on this. And then what would happen is with this training, then they would go out and bring back and make their own policies and procedures based off of what they learn on this training on an active shooter and implement it. And then we would send our officer that I send to this training, he will go out to like Great River Medical Center and be able to assist them to the college and to Walmart or to any place and try to implement what happens if you do have an active shooter in the business. So that's what we're moving forward towards in the police department. I just kind of wanted council's input.
It'd be well worth the cost. Always to be prepared to, you can never be too prepared for any type of a situation like this.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thanks, Rick.
Mike?
Buildings, promoter sports, the exterior work is completed. Interior work is finishing up, should be completed in about a week or so. Deary Brothers, steel components are being put in, the roof is on. Overhangs are being installed. I met with Brad out there today on a couple of issues, and we got them resolved on the construction site. Ortho rehab, main floors completely poured, as well as the footings. And the frame, steel frame is being installed. Exterior walls are also starting to be installed. Tender top water, the roof struts are in place. I did conduct several inspections for the rehab assistance program on some housing here in the city. Klein Center, I hadn't heard from them this week. They're about 3 weeks out from completion. Interior work is continuing. They're laying carpet and a few other flooring items and that kind of thing, getting ready to button it up. And the fire alarm system is now being in place. And we also pulled some daycare inspections. On the fire side, radio issue, the letter did go to FEMA. Kevin Graybill has been in contact with us. We are reprogramming our radios now. We're going to program our pagers on January 7th. They are issuing us a new fire tone and to upgrade our system. And he has been told that this is his last chance of getting it right for us. Auto aid, the city of Burlington, the attorney is drawing up an agreement. Matt and I are working on the specifications of the agreement, and we're still meeting. We have another meeting scheduled after the first of the year. Ladder testing was completed. All the ground ladders passed. All the new stickers are on them. And the tower was also past its 3.5, almost 4-hour testing. Assessment center's coming up January the 12th. We have 7 candidates for 2 positions that have applied. Explorer program now has 3 new applications that are being reviewed at this time. The fire department has received 4 new applications this week. I did hear that the background checks were all positive on those 4, so they will move on in the process probably after Christmas. We have 2 pending for next year, and we took another application in tonight. So we're going to be well into the personnel of 30 or better. Well, we're going to be about 35 people here very shortly due to the safer grant. The Fire Association has adopted 2 families for Christmas. They will be delivering presents this weekend. We also were involved with the Toys for Tots at the Westland Mall collection point. And again, the association bought gifts for the kids also. We did send a condolence card. It was all signed Monday night to Sandy Hook Volunteer Fire Department. All the members thought that for what they saw and what they had to go through, that some support from the fire departments from around the country, and we participated in that. Last thing I have was this morning, I was notified by FEMA that we did tentatively get approval for the 2012 SAFER grant. I don't know what phase yet we're at, and there's 2 phases to it, and I don't know what's on the first phase of what we're going to accept or what they're going to give us yet. It'll be a few days for that, and then part 2 is the paid inspector that we talked about several months ago before we applied. That brings the fire department's grand total for this year's grants alone at $648,954.40. So that's a pretty good 1-year total. And again, if we get part 2, we'll add another almost 200,000 to that. So it was a good year for the fire department on grants.
You had mentioned there about Graybill receiving their final warning. Was that warning from FEMA or from you?
We gave him the final warning per what FEMA wanted us to do, is give him full shot of fixing everything one time, and then turn it over to them if we don't get the satisfying what we need to have done. And so far, what we've reprogrammed and things, it's working fine.
Good.
We had problems Friday night on a call, and since then, reprogramming has started, and so far, so good. So that's all I got.
On the, Mike, on the mutual agreement that you were talking, or what is be made up and that stuff in there, are we guaranteed that we're going to be safe and, I mean, when you're running, we're going to be covered here?
We had a call here several weeks ago on an apartment fire. We sent 6 to the fire. We sent 7 downtown to cover the city of Burlington, and we still had 5 up here. So yeah, we're not.
So we shouldn't have any trouble at all.
Shouldn't have any problem, because the 7 that went downtown, if we had a call out here, they would have come back to us.
So we're okay with rescue and everything?
We're doing good. Our firefighter employees are into the 30s now. We can only have 41 total. And the way the applications are going with the SAFER grant that we got in 2011, I told them if we'd be happy at 5 a year. For 4 years would give us 20. And right now we got 3 on. We got 2 sitting here in the audience tonight. We took 1 today, and we got 2 pending for next year. So
no trouble then.
We're working. That's it. Don't see it. Working good.
Any questions for chiefs? Do I have anything else for public safety. Utilities. Carol, you got anything?
I don't have anything, Randy.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay, anybody have anything for utilities? Sanitation.
I don't have anything, Randy.
Just a couple things. Work's just about completed at the West Lift Station. They're still waiting to put in the manhole and the air release valve down there. Had two areas that we contracted with Wonderlux to dig up a sewer. One's behind the bank and one is over by, it's in the alley between Wheeler and Mount Pleasant Street. Both areas were deeper than what we're capable of digging it and making the repairs. Both have been completed. There's rock in the alley so the traffic can be maintained, and then as soon as spring comes, or if we have a mild winter again, we'll get those poured back.
Do I have anything for
I
utilities?
just want to say to Frank, thanks for liking that stuff. Everything that I've seen is starting to get back up to normal.
Thank you.
Okay. Sanitation.
We just did sanitation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we did. Other staff report. I was trying to find some papers here. Kelly, you got anything? Leslie? Okay. I do have some good news for, there's a, you know, as everybody knows, we have a census every 10 years, and I got a letter from them this week saying that they inform us of some corrections to the population counts for your jurisdiction. These changes resulted from reviews the Census Bureau initiated as part of our 2010 census count question resolution program. So we have some revised counts, and our count went up from 2,968 to 3,012.
Oh, how'd that
Well,
happen?
that's the official count now. We're above 3,000 again. I'll make a copy for you guys and send it out to you.
They had them in Burlington.
Which,
They had them
well,
assigned to the
yeah.
wrong town.
Gotcha.
They had them assigned to Burlington.
They lost
took-
40-some, we gained
They
40-some.
took 44 away from Burlington and gave us 44, so I had them
Got it.
somewhere along the route. Anyone wishing to address the council on matters that are not on the agenda tonight, please step forward. Seeing no one rise. We'll go to new business. And item number 1 is to discuss plans for a new public works facility with Dave and Dale. They're both here. Want to give us a brief update? Before you get started, both these gentlemen have been working hard with Randy and a few of the guys from Public Works on the kind of a preliminary design and needs of a Public Works facility, and this is kind of a very preliminary sketches and plans that all of you have been sent out to, and preliminary cost estimates on it. And go ahead, gentlemen.
We have 2 drawings, I believe, in front of you. The first being the overall site plan, which is multicolored. Hopefully, are there just 2 drawings, by the way, that you have, or do you have 2? Okay. The yellowish outlines the building area, which is presently set at about 80 by 256 feet. The pink on the off of Mount Pleasant is, and to the north of the building is proposed paving. The blue further north is a granular surface as is proposed at this point. And perhaps that's about all I was going to bring to your attention at this point in time. Dale would like to talk about the building exterior at this point.
Yeah. As was mentioned, we've been working hand in hand with Randy and his crew and working with this building footprint, which is a pre-engineered building structure. And as Dave mentioned, 256 feet long in the east-west direction and 80 feet in the north-south direction. A pretty good sized structure. It's designed to incorporate 13 bays on the south side, 12 bays on the north side, and those bays are double deep, so it's planned for the present equipment and future expansion as well. And 10 of those bays are drive-through, with the idea being that if you were on the north side of the lot, you could drive through and go out to the south side of the lot and onto Mount Pleasant, or the other way around for that matter. The exterior drawings that you're looking at should be, the sheet designation in the corner should be A201, and option A, B, C, and D are delineated, and they're really an amalgam of different ideas. And the idea here, or the direction here, was to get several of these ideas out in front and kind of make get a direction from the Public Works Department, along with our input on what might be a practical, durable exterior, and also one that would be attractive in the community. As we walk through this, option A seemed to be the most favorite and recommended by the department, in that it incorporates sloping roofs, obviously for the main body of the building, and a sloping entry canopy for people that would enter the building either on the north or south side. You're looking at the south side in all of these photographs, or all these images. And that sloping roof would carry around as an overhang on the west side to protect those lower windows from the sun in the west, and form, again, another gable or entry on the north side. The other options are kind of variations of that same scheme, except they tend to incorporate flat overhangs and roof elements, and that was rejected out of hand primarily for their being flat. Which is a good thing for us. The other is that A just seemed to be more attractive. Now, in terms of colors and textures and materials, these drawings don't represent necessarily a favorite choice in that regard. It's just more how it would be constructed and what kind of image would be. Actually, option D seemed to be most favorite in terms of series of colors and materials and that kind of thing, but we're not at that stage. So, but the department and ourselves wanted to run first choice option A by you, along with the other ones that we were looking at, and get your consensus on it.
I sure like the looks of A with the full windows and that red brick that's in D for the outside of the thing. Can I ask a quick question? I see under mechanical the hydronic radiant heat floor system.
Yes.
That hydronic water, is that heated water going through the floor?
What it is reinforced they call it PEX tubing, reinforced tubing that would be looped through the floor slab and essentially provide warm or heated boiler-fed water through the floor slab to heat the majority of the building that
Sounds
way.
great, yeah. So the guys are walking on that, and it's going
what
up.
we've found is that in past projects, and that radiant system is not only comfortable but tends to be more efficient because the heat is produced where it's used. Where people are at. We need the volume of the building because the equipment is high and the crane takes up height, but we don't necessarily want to heat that space.
Mm-hmm.
In other systems, the heat tends to rise and it's somewhat wasteful. So this is a very nice system, a long-term system, and provides comfort and heat in the areas where it's needed, and melts snow and water and all that kind of, and snow and ice and that kind of thing to get the vehicles cleaned up and taken care of.
Randy, maybe you can answer this. Where do you foresee the traffic flow? Coming in off of Mount Pleasant or coming in off of Washington?
Both.
Both, just depending on where the truck's going to park
Right.
or get worked on or pick up sand or whatever.
Most, like, just for all the guys, they'll come in off Washington just so they can park. That's why we have the parking over there, so they can go out onto Washington Road and go either direction. But we'll eventually figure out which trucks we want to have and which bays. which is gonna work out the best for us, whether we wanna go out on Mount Pleasant or on Washington Road.
To leave to get back to town, you'll have to go off Washington to get to the
Right.
cross. That looks great. It looks huge.
It's a pretty good-sized building. You're looking at 20,480 square feet, I believe.
Yeah.
And we do have a portion of the building dedicated to mezzanine storage over the office area. We wanted to take advantage of that height and use it for a purpose that was beneficial to the department. And dry storage, relatively convenient storage was a necessity, so that's where that's at.
We're just kind of looking at for some direction on building style. That was something, we've been making a lot of decisions as a group, but when you start talking about the outside of a building, we thought we better have some input from council on which option they like.
Option A doesn't show it, but those doors that are on this option would be what's on option B, would be all glass facing the south.
Thank you, Mayor, for mentioning that. I failed to mention that. Again, these are amalgam of different things. But one of the things that was discussed is, assuming option A was chosen, that we would have doors that were primarily glass on that south exposure, take advantage of the sunshine in the wintertime and the natural light, which helps with the energy load. That would not be the case necessarily on the north side. We would go to a more conventional door that's shown, that's primarily non-windowed, though there are observation windows in those doors as well.
Anyone have any questions?
Randy, which ones did you guys pick?
We'd like to go with option A, that design of that building. That way we got a little bit of overhang on both sides of the building if somebody comes out to the shop, or you could be, anybody could be outside and still not be in the elements. That's right now basically is the main thing we're looking at, is if you guys are all okay with that. If not, we'll have to decide which building design is going to work best. But appearance wise, I think that's going to make that building look as nice. That's my opinion. Out of the four options, I think that's going to be the nicest looking building that we can put out there.
A lot nicer than the Butler building you had originally planned on, right?
But would be happy with,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, we all have such design engineering classes in our backgrounds and stuff, and architect classes. If you all like that building, it's fine with me. Now, I will want to get involved in some of the more particular decisions about colors and that kind of stuff, but
Yeah. We're not there, of course.
no, I know.
I think everyone knows it has to be a Spartan building for its nature. I mean, it is a public works vehicle storage facility, but we do want to make it it's a good front door to your community, and we want to do the best we can with what we have to work with.
Yeah, it's naturally gonna hide the brush piles and the salt and
Yes.
the wash bay and everything. Yeah, I like it.
We have a consensus on option A?
Yeah.
Okay, go with that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions regarding the project that we could answer tonight?
Not today.
Okay, all right.
We'll consider this essentially the conclusion of the design concept, and we'll be moving into the design development phase at this point.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to come down.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna probably be running into some bad weather on the way back, so be careful.
All right, thank you.
I'll still be politically incorrect. Merry Christmas to you. All righty. Item number 2 is the consider payment to Keokuk Contractors for work on the Mount Pleasant Street Lift Station upgrade project in the amount of $152,851.20.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Item number 3 is to consider payment to Two Rivers Insurance Services for property, liability, and workers' compensation insurance, which is in the amount of $114,129. And Steve is here to answer any questions.
Or try to. Thank you, Mayor.
Walk you through it.
Good evening, Council. Just a few notes I'd like to go over. Earlier in the fall, I discussed with Leslie and Dan and talked about the fact that we would probably be seeing some increases in the workers' comp property rates in particular. And after discussion, they asked if we would go to market and solicit some other quotes, and which I did. So we contacted 3 of the companies that we work with that do write cities, municipalities. That would be Continental Western, of course, who you already have. Berkshire Hathaway, who has insured the city for several years, about 4 years ago. And then also Travelers Insurance. All of these are A-rated companies, very financially sound and experienced in municipal coverage. Of those, Berkshire Hathaway came in with a bid of $119,111. Travelers Insurance quoted $136,987. And Continental Western, your quotes on your paper will be a little different. We've had some changes from auto and inland marine coverages, but it's pretty close. It went down a little bit. 114, 126. However, this is still about a 15% increase over last year. And again, in the 2 areas that we thought it would be, and that would be on the property side and also on the workers' comp. The reason that's been kind of a pattern we've seen in our agency, not just with municipalities, but with all business insurance. The property workers' comp have been issues. 2 reasons, primarily high claims in both of those areas in the last several years. The insurance companies are taking pretty good hits on those. And then also on the fact that the insurance companies' investments are not performing ecstatically right now, to say the least, as you all may know as well. So because of that, they still need to be profitable, and so they're taking some premium increases this year. On the good side, they have made some changes. Continental Western has made some changes to their policy, and I'll just go through a few of them. Leslie and Dan, we went through quite a few of these before, but on the public officials liability coverage, they have moved from what they call a claims made to an occurrence form, and without getting too insurance-y in all of this, it basically it's a better thing for you. It's better coverage, so it's a good thing. Also, they have separate liability limits for sexual abuse or molestation suits. Law enforcement is now endorsed with its own special limits, not underneath the general liability. That's a good thing for you. Also, employment-related practices liability, that's also under its own limits. So they expanded the policy in that regard and clarified a lot of the language in it. One of the reasons they did move the workers' compensation policy to another Berkeley-owned, which owns Continental Western company called Fireman's Insurance Company, which has allowed them to raise the rates a bit on the workers' comp. So, I mean, that's in a nutshell, and I'd entertain any questions that you may have.
So you, Leslie, and Dan are saying we should stay with Continental Western, am I correct?
I would say so. They have been, I think they've done a good job on claims that we've had this past year. I think by going out to market, I was glad to see that they're not the only ones that are taking some increases, and they're still below those other insurance companies. So I do feel confident with them. That
we had a few issues with the fire, but the agents were able to work through those with us, and so no problems. It was.
I'd have to thank.
It turned out all right. It was a little hairy for a while, but the agents took care of us like they're supposed to, like we pay them to.
Well, thank you. I do want to give credit to Lori Taylor, a West Burlington resident, who is our claim specialist and worked closely with Frank and Leslie and Dan on that one claim, and was able to sort it out, get it straightened out, and proceeded. So I do want to thank her. She's a great gal at that. Does a good job.
Rod, I see the fireworks July 4th thing is in here. Didn't we scramble at the last minute last year to get it covered? I just kind of remember something.
There's an issue that comes up with the railroad granting us a temporary occupancy permit.
It's not getting the insurance from these guys, it's getting permission from the railroad that
Yeah,
always comes down to the last minute.
We do start that process, Rod, and I start
Normally in
that
January.
normally in January, and it goes right till about June, so. This year actually was a little sooner than that. Last year, it went right up to the end.
There's a note on here, additional insured is Burlington Northern Santa Fe
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that event in case. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, good.
And every time I try to add something new to the 4th of July, we end up paying more for insurance. So.
Don't add anything new.
Make a motion to approve the payment of whatever the new figure is to Two Rivers Insurance Services and stay with Continental Western.
Motion with support. Any discussion?
I just have one question. I know, did Leslie get a hold of you this afternoon?
Oh, on the crime coverages?
Yes.
Yeah. This year, we did increase the crime coverages, and again, I don't want to go too much into detail, but most of the insurance policy forms exclude coverage to city officers who are bonded according to state law. However, Continental Western goes ahead and covers them. They go beyond that exclusion, add it back into the policy. So we went from a $200,000 limit to a $500,000 limit, $500,000. That's for the mayor, the city clerk, and the finance officer, and those are all separate limits. So if they all three got in cahoots, you could have $1.5 million coverage on it. But I didn't mean to disparage anyone, but I'm just saying that's the coverage.
Is that per occurrence or?
That's per occurrence, yeah. So hopefully no more than one occurrence though per year. Seriously,
Leslie and I were talking about that earlier. We didn't know if we could get up to $50 million.
well, we can get higher limits. Berkeley again has a sister company that we would need to go through an app process. We'd have to be a little more, explain more procedures of finance and handling of money and that kind of thing. But we could get million, maybe $2 million coverage. To the Dixon, Illinois situation, $50 million, I'd hate to even think I guess I wouldn't hate to think what the premium would be there, but you may hate to think what it would be. But in that situation, by all accounts that I've been able to read, that was not, there weren't a lot of safeguards in that whole process, whereas I think this city here has a much better handling of those kinds of things.
We would notice.
Yeah. I agree. Does that
Yeah.
answer your question at all, Teresa?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
Wes.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Stewart.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to all of you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Christmas, sir.
Item number 4 is to consider an employee wellness program for 2013. Jamie's here to talk a little bit about that. I think this last year, the wellness program was around $5,000, and the recommendation is to continue with that with the same cost for next year. There's been quite a bit, pretty good participation from the employees.
Yeah, like I said in my memo, from the things I go to, most places get about 40%, and that's pretty close to where we're at. Hy-Vee with 70,000 lives or something still only gets about 40%, even though they constantly have a thing going. That's just kind of what you get, the way I've been able to understand it. I'm recommending some changes to try to up that by increasing the incentive, but that's entirely up to you if you want to do that. But we've been, after the people we had before, going with GRMC has been a lot better, way more popular. Employees like it a lot better. Very interesting things. We usually learn a lot. And
Yep, this last year, we had 20 out of the 30 employees participate in the wellness screening. Of those, we did find some individuals who did need to go to the physician right away for uncontrolled, whether it be blood glucose levels or cholesterol levels or blood pressure or whatever. But then throughout the year, last year, we gave a lot of email communication for awareness in terms of health and fitness of employees. We delivered 5 on-site educational sessions, one of which recently was taught by Dr. Mike Abalosly about preventative health exams that I think was very popular among all employees. And then we also offer challenges. The current challenge right now is a Maintain, Don't Gain program for all of the educational programs. And the challenges alike, we'll have up to 15 employees participate in each program. I've been here on site delivering on-site fitness and exercise to your police officers, and I think it would also be a very nice opportunity, to work with your potential TAC team on their physical strength and endurance as a preparation for competition for next year. So, we're looking at making one modification, moving away from a web-based wellness portal to an to a paper health risk assessment. So that way I have those aggregate results so we can, look at time 1 and time 2 comparisons. When we come in to do your next year's wellness program, your wellness screening will happen in January, so we'll actually be able to compare from 2010 to 2012 to 2013 wellness data. And what Mr. Gifford was stating with changing incentives and what I would recommend, it looks like for the past couple of years, you are very focused on participation, which is great. It's going to be more of a quality of life program, maybe a traditional program. But when you're into your 2nd and 3rd year, it's advised to look at more outcomes-based. So in addition to participation, you definitely want to incentivize for participation, but you also want to get your outcomes out of your program. So we want to see those blood pressures come down. We want to see the weights come down. 85% of the workforce, out of the 20 people who completed it, 85% were either overweight or obese. So with an outcome measurement, we're able to, actually get a greater return on investment for your $5,000 invested.
I've missed your very first statement. You said the initial screenings, you sent how many?
We had 20 of the 30.
And you sent some to physicians right away for testing?
No.
Glucose was too high or something?
Advised them.
Right.
Advised them. How many?
We advise. We advise.
What was that number?
I don't have that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
but several needed to go.
Several.
Right. Okay. That they wouldn't have known about otherwise.
Right. So, that's the reason why we do the wellness screenings. So, what I'd recommend is the Elements program, so it's going to include all your campaigns, seminars, and challenges. We'll bring in educators from Great River Health Systems. What I don't have on here, we're also going to include 1 or 2 educational sessions from Dr. Mike Abalosly in addition at no additional cost to you. And then the wellness screening for up to 30 employees, which will consist of your lipid panel with the glucose, blood pressure, body composition, and then a coaching opportunity. Okay, just we're changing things a little bit from last year, so that way you have each employee has just direct contact one-on-one with that wellness coach for that 15 minutes while they're getting their wellness screening. And then we're going to do the paper-based health risk appraisals, have 10 hours of dedicated exercise time downstairs for officers and staff. And then I think it was also very popular, we brought in a registered dietitian and our chef from Great River to make food for everyone, so healthy food demonstrations. That's been fun.
Get Frank to eat a vegetable will be good.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
So if I'm reading this right, Jamie, in 2012, these aggregates, you had 30% had borderline high cholesterol, 10% had high cholesterol.
Over
Is that
240,
correct?
that's
And
correct.
50% had low LDLs. And so you didn't recheck that at the end of this?
We recheck it, no, we recheck it 1 year later.
1
So
year
we
later.
Check it when we do, yeah, the beginning of the next year. So we did them January of 2012.
Well,
I think it's a
I've-
great
I've-
program. I've attended a few of the things, and it's
I've-
been well attended by the employees, and I wish I could make more of them, but sometimes they're way too early in the morning. You know, when you see 10 people walking around at 6:30 in the morning,
You need
don't
a
be
wake-up
alarmed.
call.
I've already been at work for almost an hour by then. What do you
Did that for 30 years. I don't have to do it anymore.
So what are you looking for us to do
I'd
here, Dan?
just like to see a motion to continue with the program for next year at the
At the same
cost
price
of
of before?
At the
So moved.
support. Motion
You
was
want
support.
option two?
Yeah, option 2. Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, council.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Hans, what about the incentive program? Are
Oh,
we
the
gonna
incentive
change
part of
that?
this.
Is that a separate vote?
It's just a separate thing.
That was a separate expense.
Yeah, that's, I'm trying to get through to the bottom of it. There we go.
The
This
employees
year-
do pay in $4 a month for this, so they want to participate. That's one of the things that you learn too, is if you pay some, you're more apt to use it.
I think what we had, if the participation, if you had 90% or more, for this year, it was like a day,
Yeah, 8 hours or
8
150.
hours of paid time. There's a recommendation to go to 12 hours of paid time, paid off time, or
Is that in this
$300.
paperwork somewhere? I didn't see it.
Yes.
It's at the very bottom
Yeah,
of the
separate.
It'd be nice to have it up
Last
with
page
the-
has separated
page
the other.
84.
I've seen what we did one year and what we did another year, but I couldn't find
Yeah. it
where
got
somebody was.
separated. I think we definitely need to make them do the biometrics to be eligible for that incentive, because we want those numbers.
So Gifford, are you telling me that if I incent you more, you'll do better on this or go to this more often?
I won't,
Truly?
because I went to all of them.
Truly?
But I went to all of them, so I'm not a good
I know you
example.
attended and did a good job in this.
That wouldn't be a good example for me. I'm hoping, from the things I go to, they think that, and we're not even close to where the big companies think you should be. In order to get the good participation,
They're not a big company.
they're recommending like $1,000 of incentive, and I'm only talking, if you go to 90% or more, bumping that to 300 and time off. Some people take time off.
Well, and I think actually you can actually make a separate tier or a separate column. So make one that's just participation only, and then if you participate with outcomes, then you qualify for the next tier, which is a greater incentive.
Like that. I
Maybe
like
split
that,
it
with
in half or
outcomes.
something, maybe 150, and then do the bio, I think.
If you
definitely
do the bio, then you meet, this incentive. But
And
if
then 150 if they
But
accomplish
if you
some
hit your
goal.
outcomes, and we can use the outcomes that I use for Great River and the other companies that I work with, we look at the 5 biometric markers for metabolic syndrome. So HDL, triglycerides, glucose, blood pressure, and waist circumference.
So that'd be different for each individual participating?
Well, we could base it upon even a 5%, weight loss. You could do something like that, or you can make it biometrics based, where the employee has to achieve at least 3 of the 5 indicators in healthy range.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. That way there's more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I can go to the meetings and eat and drink and be merry, and if I participate
Well, and we
in
bring
all
healthy
meetings, I'm gonna get
snacks, so
$300.
if you come to our meeting, you're gonna eat healthy.
Yeah, but if I don't do my weight loss or improve my blood pressure or anything like that, well,
I'd like to
That's
see
me.
them work something up there, this incentive package that would include outcomes, and maybe bring that up bring that up later, but
We can,
Definitely.
we can make that decision at the next council
Yeah.
meeting. You and Leslie can work something out, or
Okay.
send her something.
We're okay with at least what we did last year?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Just so people know.
I have a
when they
little
sign-
doubt that giving a bigger incentive is gonna get you to where you wanna go, but I've been wrong many times in my life.
Well, the outcomes make some sense for that argument then, because you actually have results to show results.
Yeah.
so.
And we've got a baseline now, too.
Yes.
Based off
We
of
have,
last-
yeah, I have 2
well,
years of baseline
Yeah,
for you.
so-
Mhm.
Okay.
Good.
Hey, thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Item number 5 is to consider a resolution hiring Edward Wyrick as a firefighter. Edward, which one of you two is you? Or is that you?
which one of you is
Just want
you?
you to stand up, be recognized. I know there's 2 of you sitting back there. I didn't know which one was Ed.
Ed, your father, Junior Wyrick? Yeah, I know him. Good man. Why do you want to be on the fire department?
Something I want to do since I was little. Dave always kind of pushed me towards it.
You working at Case these days?
At Levine's.
At Levine's? And would you reside in West Burlington? I'm just curious.
Actually, just on Pleasant Street, there, Caroline Street.
You want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Molly,
Aye.
Stewart,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Item number 6 is to consider a resolution hiring James Boyle as a firefighter.
I knew
James?
that. I knew that was him.
Okay. Figured it out. He comes with a job and a tie.
Yeah.
I need an excuse to do
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion?
James, why do you want to be on the West Burlington Fire?
I heard it's a good training opportunity. I work as a U.S. park ranger in the summer times, and one of our duties is fighting fires in the grand lodges out west and stuff like that. And I'm going to keep up with my skills and training in that.
What do you do for during the day?
Unemployed right now. There's not a lot of jobs in the area, but I'm working on that.
Okay.
That's daytime availability.
That's a good.
I'm looking.
That's good. You're hired.
Alrighty. Roll call. Or, yeah.
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Molly.
Motion carried. Thanks for volunteering to serve.
You guys don't have to hang around.
Thank you both for coming, though.
Yeah.
Which one has more seniority now?
Wyrick
We'll have to
does.
go back to see when they put their application in.
Well, that's the hiring date.
Wyrick is.
We approved Edward first.
2 minutes ago, so I guess Ed would be first.
Well, you usually go by alphabet. And the
Whoops.
name.
Here we go.
Oh,
Oh,
whoops.
E before J.
And, I don't know. That's how it is the case. 5 of us started,
Went by alphabet.
I went by the alphabet. Item number 7 is to consider purchase of bunker gear for probationary firefighters using the 2011 Saver Grant funding
So moved.
in the amount of $4,520.40.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? That's to outfit these 2 gentlemen.
Yep, that's the outfit, those 2.
How long does it take for this stuff to come in? Is it on the hook, ready to be shipped?
Bunker gear takes about 6 weeks,
Oh, gee.
and then we're still piecing Lynette's in. It's still coming in pieces, so she just still doesn't have all of her stuff yet.
Roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Molly.
Nay.
Stewart.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 8 is to consider an EMT course tuition assistance for firefighter Bradley Barnett. Bradley qualifies for the tuition assistance. That's in the amount of $1,220.
Motion
Gonna use
approved.
some of that tuition after the Safer Grant.
Safer Grant will not cover any of the EMT, firefighter 1 or 2. Won't do it.
5,000 doesn't cover any grants, any tuition for nobody.
the tuition for, if you're going after a degree, not general stuff like this.
How do you know
This
he's
is-
not going after a degree?
This is just a certificate.
Yeah, this is not
Oh,
a
a
degree.
certificate,
Yeah,
okay.
this is not a degree portion of a degree. This is something.
Okay.
This is like
So
an
the other
elective.
one-
This is like an elective.
So if anybody else going to degree, then we use that?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Motion to approve again.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
West,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
All right.
Stewart,
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 9 is to consider purchase of bunker gear for the fire department. This is one more set that needs to be purchased to replace an old set in the amount of $1,651.
Motion to approve.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 10 is to consider approving the state TIF report. If you all had a chance, you've had it for a couple of weeks to look it over and see the amount of work that had to go into it, because this is a new report that has to be filed with the state from now on every year. So Leslie and Dan and everybody else up here had a lot of input into it.
Make a motion to approve the state of TIF report.
Support.
Motion with support. Any other discussion?
Lots of information.
Lots of information, and I do wish, I hope the state does look at this and see what the money has been spent on and the jobs that have been retained or created with what we've done with TIF and
Tax
the
bases
good
that
things
have
that
been
we've
built.
done with it. So,
Yeah, you add those up, that's some pretty impressive
yeah.
numbers.
Roll call.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Crowner.
Gladly, aye.
Motion carried.
To think that I was here at the start of the TIF back in the
Good
early
job.
90s.
Had to have been, you've been here forever.
Almost. He's been here just a little longer because he's older.
First one was Raiders, so I was there,
He's there.
I think. Item number 11 is to consider a resolution approving internal loan from the general fund to TIF for legal services related to the TIF area in the amount of $4,053. Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stewart,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Aye.
Raleigh. I was getting there, lost my feet.
Motion carried. And item number 12 is to consider Police Chief Newberry 6-month wage increase.
Motion to adjourn, oh.
Thanks, guy. Thanks, Chief.
As you can see, Dan is recommending that Frank get his 2% increase after a 6-month period of time. I agree concurrently with that, and Frank has done a heck of a good job here in the last 6 months. He's made some changes for the betterment of the department, and
Thank you.
and it's always so much fun to come in here and have fun with Frank.
I like to laugh.
It makes my day.
That's good.
It's worth the 2%.
I try to keep it lively.
Therese, would you like that honor?
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Support.
There's a motion with support. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Stewart,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West,
Aye.
Aye.
I'm not listening.
Motion
I'm not
carried. Don't have any old business. Anyone wishing to address the council matters we did discuss or didn't discuss tonight?
I would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and upcoming Happy New Year, and remind you that there is a open house out to KCPS from 5 to 9 this evening. If you'd like to attend, you're all invited.
Merry Christmas.
Yep, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year. I don't see you beforehand. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Last one for 2012.
Yeah.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
When you first started.